Okay, we're going to begin recording here. So I just want to thank you so much for joining us. And we're going to just kind of scoot around here so everyone can see. So make sure you can see yourself, everybody. So Mia and Taylor are online. We've got Rachel, Barbie, and Julia here. So if y'all want to take a minute to introduce yourself. Who wants to start?
I'm Rachel, and I'm in the 200-hour program. And what else should I tell you?
Maybe how long you've been practicing yoga, or what you started.
Yeah, so I've been practicing yoga for about 4 years, mostly just like asana practice. So we joined the program to learn a lot more deeper into the actual practice.
Awesome. All right, who wants to go next? Anybody?
All right. I'm Barbie. I'm in the 200-hour class. I started yoga a couple of years ago. I started yoga was what I fell in love with, and when my mom just pushed me. I'm doing this just to better myself. It's taking a while, but I can.
Yes. Progress.
Yes.
Yay. All right, Julia, you want to go next?
Julia Schloss, and I just signed up for the 200-hour program about a month ago. And I've been doing yoga on and off since I was 25, and I'm 55. And I had a hip injury a couple of years ago that I'm trying to work through and get stronger. And I'd like to teach someday.
And what you had a specific realm that you want to teach in. You want to share that?
I want to work with people who are autistic and on the spectrum that have focus issues. That is near and dear to my heart. And so yoga is helping me learn to focus. It really is. I've had transformation already on so many levels, and I'll cry if we go further.
We can share that at the retreat. All right, Taylor or Mia?
Well, hello guys. My name is Taylor. I am 24 years old. I currently live in Kansas. I'm a Texas native. I've been here for about a year fully. Let's see. I signed up for the 200 hours. I will actually be officially starting it. Hanging around, you guys. I've been practicing yoga for about four years on and off. I don't have a rock practice, but I do practice quite often. And it's done wonders for me. I'm going to school out here in Kansas. I'm just finishing up my bachelor's degree and will be going into pre-PT. I have a secondary major in gerontology, and like you, Julia, I plan on going into a special population, more of the aging individuals, older individuals, mainly the old and then the oldest old, so anywhere between 75 and older. So it's exciting. I'm very, very happy to be here with you ladies in spirit.
Yes. Well, thank you. And Taylor, I didn't know you were going into that specialty, but there is some really awesome recent studies on the use of yoga therapy and the reduction of opiates. And in the state of Oregon, they actually have allowed yoga to be utilized in geriatric centers in replacement for opiate addiction and getting people weaned off of opiates. So,
wow. Yes, awesome? Yes. I have been studying a bit on more of the research end of it, and it's amazing. It's amazing. Alternative physical therapy instead of weight loading and joint mobilization. It's a lot easier on other bodies.
Right. Mia, do you want to go ahead and go?
I certainly can. I've got you both on my phone.
Okay, so
And on my computer, but apparently you don't have a video.
okay,
So.
if you want to go ahead and mute when you're not talking too, that would help also.
So I'm getting rid of the phone. This is just me by computer because I think what I'm doing is throwing off an echo. Hi, my name is Mia Conlon. Pleasure to meet you guys. And I know you 1, 2, 3, 4 at the top. Pleasure to meet you, Taylor. So I started with Lisa's 200 hour about, a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. And I'm currently in Lisa's 300 hour. And I've probably been seriously practicing yoga for about 3 years now. I, similar to Taylor, have an interest in a certain segment of the population with yoga, and that is our first responders and our military members that suffer from PTSD. And so that's where I am kind of entering into, or Lisa's helping me get there, into that segmented population. I guess that's about it. I'm local, so I'm only about 10, 15 minutes away. So very close.
Yeah, and tell them about your specialty trainings that you've been doing.
So Lisa, I can't say early on, it was probably about 6 months into the program. She introduced me to Charlotte Truesdale, who hosts the Warrior Spirit Project. So I was one of her first volunteers here in the area. And since then, we've gotten into Warriors at Ease training. So I've passed the first module of that. I've got, for next year, I've got IRES scheduled and the second module. And so that's what I've been doing on the side too. And volunteering for the organization.
What is IREST?
IREST is it's a yoga nidra. It's a meditation. It was specifically developed for first responders and military members with PTSD. Yoga nidra, which you can perform, not necessarily having to have the certification, but IREST would require the certification in order to perform all those classes. It sets you into an area of meditation where you're fully relaxed. You don't necessarily use anything where people can visualize with the mind. That's not where you want to take them because you don't know where they'll be. You want to make sure that they know that they have a safe container and just allow them to relax every portion of the body and think of the body and the breathing.
Nice. So that's
great. That's amazing. I know I hate to cut in, but I know up here on Fort Riley in Kansas, my husband is a soldier and he's currently deployed. But up here, a soldier just recently passed away, and it's the 13th soldier that passed away from suicide since the summer, since July of the year.
So I work at the Army Air Force Exchange Service, and we heard about that when that happened. And we support the family members as much as we can, but it's hard to do it from a distance.
Wow.
Yeah,
Taylor,
it's heartbreaking.
Really
it really is.
There's a lot of PTSD in any high stress situation, but of course when you're out of your regular realm of being, you don't know how people are going to react. My son is also military, and he just he's actually tomorrow he's graduating from his A school in nuclear engineering, which is his first 6-month program, and they have had several suicides on campus. So people need tools. They need to know how to deal, and this is why this teaching is so important. I mean, we think it's hard getting through the training, and just making it happen. But once we get out of ourselves and are able to, bring what we learned to everybody else, it is so critical that we do this in the world. So I want to give you guys tonight some tools that you can utilize for your daily sadhana practice. And so there's some tools that I'd like you to also just kind of seek out and obtain. I'm going to show you some of these. We're going to also use some of the retreat coming up. I know, Taylor, you're coming to the next year's retreat. But so these are mala beads, and there's all different kinds. They're made with all different kinds of crystals and stones. So these are just all different ones. I'm going to just lay out some of the ones I have here. And so I've been collecting these over the years, and the mala beads are great for utilizing in your personal practice, because in your practice, it helps you to have something tactile to utilize when you meditate. They also say when a mala breaks, it takes a hit for you. So this one broke. I had this on all summer, really, and it finally came apart. So they say that when it does that, the stone itself is taking the hit for you. It's absorbing it for you. So there's all kinds of different ones. This one has stones for each of the chakras. This one is tulsi wood, and it's been used for eons for meditation. This one is a combination of jasper, rudraksha seeds. It has calcite, rose quartz, and pink quartz. So it has combination. This one is a mixture of, has a hematite bead at the top. And this is actually supposed to be worn at your nape. This is not supposed to be worn like this. This goes at the nape of your neck. And so it has quartz crystals, jasper, and amethyst. And this one is rudraksha, which is a seed. These seeds have a natural hole in them. They've been used for thousands of years for meditation. They're real bumpy. And then this one is rudraksha with freshwater pearl and crystal. And so I have a few more also. I have a turquoise one that's out right now being utilized by a friend. And then I have one that's made out of sandstone, which I really like. And so each stone has its own purpose. We'll learn more about our crystals and stones at our workshop that we're doing, but I wanted to teach you all how to utilize these for chanting and for utilizing them for mantra. So it's something that you can do to, like Mia said, to turn off your thoughts and create a safe container. So that's what chanting does. It's called japa mantra, when you repeat it over and over and over and over. And they say when you actually repeat it over 100,000 times, that's when you can teach it. So there's only a few that I've repeated a lot that I can actually teach you. And then the other ones you're going to have to either research on your own or go to a guru that has an ashram or even teaches mantra. But from my practice, the ones that I have chanted the most is the Gayatri mantra, and then the Ganesha mantra, and the Lakshmi mantra. And so this is a little statue of Ganesha. I put some little decorations on it, a peacock feather and some stones that a friend gave me, and some of Diva's hair that one of my Native American friends, when you cut your hair, your horse's hair the first time, they braid it into a lock with leather. That was her first little haircut. So there's Ganesha. You can see him. And Ganesha is symbolizing, he's not an idol. People don't worship him. What he does is he symbolizes, I'll put him over here so everyone can see him, the energy of obstacles. So there might be an obstacle in your path. There also might be an obstacle needed in your path. So there's a couple ways of looking at it. Obstacles may need to be removed, or they may need to be there to redirect you or to make you stop and take another route. So if an obstacle is in your path, you can go over, under, around, through. You have to be really creative, or you might try to move it, or you might go another direction. So there's lots of things that will happen when obstacles are in your way. Sometimes we're not aware of the obstacles that are in our way. Sometimes we are. But there's always obstacles. That's just part of the human experience. So the Ganesha mantra is Om Gun Ganapataye Namaha. There's lots and lots of songs, lots of YouTube videos, lots of different ways, melodies to chant it. But in Sanskrit, all of the sutras come from the Yoga Sutras. They're perfectly, metered in Sanskrit. So some of them are from the sutras, some of them are from the ancient Vedic texts. So some of the mantras come from different places. But the Ganesha mantra has been used for a long time. And so this one is, you can utilize any of the beads, and what you do is you start with what they call the guru bead. So the guru is the one at the very top, and this is the one that goes at your nape of your neck. So that's like the most personal space. And also you don't want people touching your malas. They're not worn as jewelry. They can be an adornment, but they are sacred. So people, like when they want to reach up and touch your mala, you're like, it's really kosher to ask, can I touch that? Can I see it? Like someone's gonna touch your baby, you're like, don't touch my baby, people just think they have a right to touch stuff, and you're like, okay, that's my space, and you just invaded it, So if someone tries to touch your mala, it's okay to say, that's my personal sacred object, I prefer that you don't touch it. That's totally fine. It has your energy built into it, and it has the energy of the universe built into it through your prayers. And that's why it's so powerful. So you are welcome to touch any of these malas. If you want to grab one just to practice with, one that you're drawn to, feel free to grab one. I know that ladies on the Zoom, we don't have a mala. If you have a mala at home, please go grab it. But if you don't,
Okay, I'm going to be right back.
Okay. Okay, cool. What were they called? Rudraksha?
Lisa, I don't have malas, but would any of my crystals work? Any of my crystals that I really used for my meditation?
That's a good.
All right, I'll be right back. I'll go get my labradorite.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
So you got yours, Mia. So what is yours made out of?
Lisa, this is the one that my husband and I made together, and we used our birth date and our anniversary. Anniversary is 11, birthday for my husband's 12 and mine's 13 to do the beads, and then we used my mother's beads from her necklace to incorporate within the beads that we got from the beading store.
And then did you do 108?
Yes.
Awesome. Have you brought that to the studio before?
Yeah, but it was last retreat. I'll bring it again.
Yeah, I'd like to see it again.
Sure.
Awesome. Yeah, and so any of the tools that you can use, some of them become more favorite than others. You'll notice how they feel. Like if you do a certain chant with a certain mala for a long time, it immediately invokes that energy. So there are also certain malas that alternate beads, and you can do the same chant through the whole thing, or you can alternate a different chant, like when you get to the amethyst or the jasper. A lot of times you can also just do Om Shanti. Super simple, just peace. And so you could start with Om Shanti. So how you hold it is you're going to take your ring finger and put the mala around your ring finger at the guru bead, and the guru bead is going to be by your pinky. I'm going to show you that. Can you see that? Can you see that okay?
Yes, I can see it.
All right. So
I can't. It's actually, okay, I can see it now. Yes.
Can you see it?
Could you see it? Here, Taylor. So you're going to take and bring it over your finger, and you're going to move it with your ring finger. So you're just going to support it, and you're going to hold it just over your finger, and you're going to take your ring finger or your middle finger, and then take the rest of your mala and bring it in close to your body. So you're just kind of bringing the energy close. So what you're going to do is you're going to move the mala, not with your thumb or your pointer finger, but you're going to move it with your weakest finger. It's really hard to get used to. So you're moving it. I usually grab it with my nail on my ring fingers like that. And then you're just going to pull it toward you. So your guru bead is always going to be moving toward your heart. So when you move it, I'm going to come over here a little closer so you can see. So when you're moving it, you're pulling it toward you with your ring finger. Can you see that? So you're doing a chant for each bead as you move it. And you don't have to go fast, you don't have to go slow, it doesn't matter. So we're gonna do I'll do call and response first so you get used to how to chant it. We'll do the Ganesha chant. And we'll do, let's see, how are we doing on time? Okay. So we'll do 54. So that's half your mala. So the chant is Om Gun Ganapataye Namaha. So how it sounds, Om Gun Ganapataye Namaha, 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 Om Gun Ganapataye Namaha. Okay, so I want you guys to join along. It's Om Gun Ganapataye Namaha. And so you're going to, each time you say your chant, you're going to move one bead, pulling it towards you. And so the guru bead is going to be moving as you go, down and around, down and around, down and around, down and around, down and around. And then when you get to it after 108, you never cross your guru. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to take and flip your hand around and move. Let me do that where you can see it better. And I'll show you guys here closer. So you're going to take your hand and you're going to flip it around without losing your spot and bring the guru bead on this side of you again. Did you see that?
Saw it, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do that. Let me see.
So when it's coming around, it's moving towards your heart all the way around, all the way around, all the way around. And then you're back at your last bead. If you're going to do another round, then just take and hold on to that bead. You're going to start with and end with the same bead. So you're just going to flip it around. And you're still on that same bead. You're still holding that same bead. You just move the guru bead to your heart.
Oh, I
side.
see. Okay. No,
Yeah, so now
I didn't.
it's
Wait.
again on your heart side, and then you can go around again. So, and I'll show you guys that. So when you're holding it, so as you go around, you're going to be bringing it toward you, and just moving it, moving it, moving it, moving it. As it comes around, and sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, this is taking forever, and your mind is saying all this stuff. You're like, what time is it? I'm hungry. All that stuff is going on, and you're like, still chanting, okay? And then once you finally get to your bead, and depending how long your chant is, it's not going to be that long, or it might be really long. And so as you hold it there, hold on to that bead, and then you're just going to move it around your fingers. And so now the guru bead is again toward you. Okay? And then you can go around again. So we'll just do half of our round, which in my mala, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is it 9? 10. It has 10 crystals at the end. Some of them are different at the very end, at halfway through. So that kind of helps you at the halfway point too. And then you're like, okay, I'm halfway there. All right, I can keep going, So it gives you that little extra, okay, I got it. Like on my Tulsi one, this one has 10 in a row at the very end that are separated by a space. So that it's like, you can either start with those 10 or that's your last 10, So it's nice to have that. On this one, I just like this one because when you get to the middle, you have this beautiful crystal. It feels so good. So I like to pet it. Oh, kind of halfway through, got my little crystal. And then this one also is marked differently too. So you have 10, and then you have a freshwater pearl, and then you have the crystal. So you can do different chants when you get to those 3. So you can kind of make up your own, but there's also lots and lots of traditional ones that you can look up. So we're due round of 54. For those of you on Zoom, I still do want you to chant out loud. Taylor, I know you're not chanting with your malas, but you can, again, like you said, hold your crystals and your stones close to your heart and just do your chant that way. Are y'all ready? All right, so sitting up nice and tall, you want to elevate your hips and taking a deep breath in, and then exhale. We'll start with an Om, breath in. We'll start with our chant. Om Gun Ganapataye Namaha. 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 Om Gun Ganapataye Namaha.
Om Ganapataye Namaha.
Feel your breath. Feel your belly rising and falling. Slowly bring a focal point, opening the eyes somewhere in front of you. Coming back to the center. Does anyone want to share takeaways for that first round of mantra?
It went a lot faster.
It's pretty fast.
Yeah. The way you described getting off point, I was waiting for that.
Good. Oh, awesome. That's great.
I was too busy.
Yeah,
Keep
right.
my
It
feet
keeps you
going.
busy, right?
Yeah.
So it keeps your mind and your hands busy.
Trying
So
to
you
keep that action correct.
yes.
Not just moving, but correct.
Right. That's the tricky part because it's easy to move with your powerful fingers that you use all the time. So the more stimulus you add, the less room you have for that monkey chatter. So
I'm gonna be going to sleep with these.
I sleep with these all the time. Yeah. I travel. I mean, they're just powerful little tools. Anybody else want to share?
I love this. I've been trying to do my meditation with a timer, like set like a 10-minute timer, and then I find myself just waiting for the gosh, it's got to be 10 minutes right now. Turn it on. I look, I'm like, oh, I don't even know how long I've been doing this. It's really cool. I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. Anybody else want to share?
While we were chanting, well, it's been a while since I've practiced my myself Reiki.
Mm-hmm.
So what I noticed was that my base chakra realigned. And it's funny because my cat came over and she's gone now, but she nudged me, and I just felt like I'm sitting on the ground right now, but I felt like I was um but it almost felt like quartz with it.
Oh, we lost you for a
That
second,
was nice.
Taylor.
I really enjoyed it.
You're frozen, Taylor. Are you there? She's probably just talking. Yeah,
I'm there, here.
Okay, turn your video off and back on. Oh, there you are. So you said your root chakra realigned, and then your cat came over, and then what happened?
So
No.
cute.
It might help to
Well,
turn the
I
video off for a
was
second.
Can you see me?
So cool.
I know. Okay. There we go. Now you're back.
All right. Well, I was as we were meditating, I noticed that my cat came over and nudged me, and I'm sitting on the ground right now, you know, with you ladies, and I just felt grounded. I'm kind of chanted for a second like I was holding my smoky quartz, which is my grounding stone.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very nice. It was very
That's
nice.
awesome.
I felt grounded.
Well, that's awesome. Do you have anything you want to share?
I am still feeling a little clumsy with the mala, so I need to keep practicing.
All right. Well, good. Did you notice anything else other than that?
No, because I was paying. Well, okay, so I can't say that because Julia is right. And because I was paying attention to that, my mind was focused, and it wasn't focused on anything other than the meditation and the concentration of the bead.
Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah, and it does keep you from your mind from wandering. Yeah, for sure. So, and Barbie was speaking too, and if you want to repeat what you said, I don't think they heard you. If you want to speak up and just share your takeaway.
It was interesting for me. I haven't been able to do something like this. And it is very grounding, and you are focusing on making sure you get each beat, and it does help you just kind of like, okay, and plus trying to make sure I'm saying it right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You're saying, oh my goodness, am I saying it right? And then by halfway through, you're like, this is
Got this.
awesome. I got it. I conquered something else. You know?
Awesome.
But you know, I'm one that I've been noticing through my journey and everything that I'm just so fast forward that I'm having to learn how to step back and take time. I thought I was taking time for myself, but I'm not taking the time for myself. And then it helps you stop and take time for yourself.
Oh, good.
So it's pretty good.
Wonderful. Yay. Well, great. Well, I'm super excited to share these tools. And this is just the beginning. So I do hope that you start to look for malas. They will call to you. You don't have to go out and seek them. But I'm telling you, once you start looking for your malas, you will find them. And you'll know which one is yours right away. We're going to be at that fair. If you're coming to the yoga retreat here, we'll be going to the Cosmic Yogi Festival. I'm sure somebody there will be selling malas. At least you can look at them and play with them and see which ones you like. You know, some of them are really expensive, some of them are not. Just depends on what kind of stones they use. So yeah, I just really encourage you to try this chant. It's an easy one to learn. You can't really, mess it up. It's really short. So even if you write it down and then, you're looking at it while you're doing your chant, or you could have it playing on YouTube and you can be chanting with the chant on YouTube, which works when you're learning a new chant. It works really well. There's a lot of music too that has this chant in it. So there's a lot of songs that have this chant in it too. One of them is one of the ones that we recommend as part of your recommended resources for the CDs is the Bhakti House Band. And those are dear friends of mine that have an amazing capacity to chant sacred mantra, and they've done several albums now. And so the Ganesha chant is on their, I think their second album. So yeah, so you can definitely download that too. I recommend that for sure. So any other takeaways before we wrap up our session?
What does it mean?
How the direct translation is? I don't remember. I mean, I'm sure I knew that at one point, but yeah, I'll look it up. Yeah. So I'll look at the meaning. I'll actually message Kristen. She's the one that's the lead singer of the Bhakti House Band. They have really good translations. So it helps you to really understand, what it means. And it's really hard going English from Sanskrit because Sanskrit or Sanskrita is a sacred language, and English sometimes just does not have the appropriate words that translate, but you can translate the intent. So the intent of the chant is, that you're lifting up your ability to be in your own way. You're creating space for Ganesha, the energy of that, to help you get out of your own way, if you're in your own way, to help you to transform. There's a lot of folklore around the story of Ganesha, so I encourage you to, when you do one of your assignments, it's asking you to do an assignment on a deity or a archetype that is famous, all over. You can do a Greek archetype, or you could do a yogi archetype from Hindu, or you could do something from Atlantis, or whatever. But the Ganesha archetype has a lot of interesting history, the reasons why he's holding specific things and all that stuff. So all those symbolize what you're intending to move through in your own life. So it's like a little mini symbolization of what you're moving through. So yeah, very fascinating.
What I like about this is that it's portable and can go with you anywhere. And when you're stuck in traffic or in a line, or maybe had a negative experience somewhere and you're trying to work on those 4 agreements, you can, go out to your car or the bathroom in the store or whatever, and just lock in and let all that go.
Yes,
And
exactly.
have a tool with you that can really keep you focused.
And if you have it on, you can tuck it underneath your clothes.
Yeah.
Usually, you don't wear it like a necklace. You're going to tuck it closest to your heart, so it's right there. Another way to utilize your mallet, this one I had on my wrist for a long time. So you can wrap them until they're wrapped. Well, it's not wrapped, it's untied. But yeah, you can just wrap them so they're all around your wrist, and you can wear it there. And then when you do utilize it for your mantra, you can take it off. And also you want to, one really important thing about your mala is that you want to clear it, especially when you first get it, and then whenever you use it. I use white sage. I'm gonna crawl over here and grab my sage out of my bag of tricks. Okay, so white sage. This is a package of white sage. This is white sage. Pass that down. And what you do is you burn it. And so white sage is really delicious. Yeah, it's very, very nice. And so traditionally, you would take a little piece of it, put it in a seashell. You're just going to break off a little piece. Now, if you're using it for smudging and clearing out your home and stuff like that, you can light the whole thing. But I prefer not to light the whole thing unless I'm in ceremony. So I'll just take a couple pieces and put it in a small shell. Where's my lighter? Oh, there it is. And then what you're going to do is you're going to light it, and then you're going to clear your mala with the sage and the smoke. So as soon as it lights, then just blow it out. And so it's just going to be smoking. And then what you do is use a feather. And so you can just clear your stones and crystals this way. There's a little smudge right here. We're just going to clear it off. If y'all want to go ahead and clear your malas, you can do that. I'll pass this around, and you can, if it goes out, just relight it. And then we can also clear ourselves, which is always really nice.
Is there a way, like we were holding it when we're doing the prayer, that we should hold it when we're clearing it?
No, just getting the smoke all over it just clears it out. Crystals reset immediately. So yeah.
I have some crystals that I've been leaving out in the moon.
Yeah, you can leave it out in the full moon, so it's going to get cleared by the moonlight. You can leave it out in change of seasons. If you want to pass your little smudge stick as well. So,
Lisa, you said leave it out in the full moon?
yeah, you can leave it out in the full moon, so it's going to get bathed in the energy of the lunar light and that goddess energy. It's really nice to do that.
Okay.
And you can take all of your crystals. Well, after they finish clearing theirs, I'll show you our little altar space here. I know, Mia, you've been here, but Taylor hasn't seen it. And some of the stones and crystals that I have laid out from our women's circle that we had 2 weekends ago. And also your mala might tend to loosen up, and if it does, you can take it to someone who makes jewelry and they can retighten it, or you can just retie it yourself.
I know some of my stones, like one of my amethysts, really prefer a water to clear it. Have you come across any malas that?
That's a really good question.
Or,
yeah.
I mean, some stones don't really like water. Like, I'm sorry?
She said she wants to know why.
Why don't they like water, and how do you know when they do?
Well, I have cleared, well, I remember one time I have a malachite. I have both a rough and a smooth, and my rough one prefers smoke, and the the waning new moon. I put it out for a new moon and I let it sit in a specific spot for the entire waning cycle. And it's hard to describe. I cycle which stones with. And sometimes they just called me. Like today, my labradorite kind of called me that it wanted to meditate with me. But one time I was at work, and I carry stones with me while I'm at work. When I did work, and I would, because I didn't have smoke, and because smoke wasn't, something that I could use, a good clear would just be a quick rinse off, thanking the stone for working with me, and just, a prayer and a quick minute of meditation to just kind of reset it with myself and intention wise. Yeah. And I did that one time. I had carried my malachite with me, and I went to place it underneath the water, and I almost got like a small electric shock. Like if you are on a slide and someone shocks you. My stone did that, and it really it shocked me. I was like, what happened?
Yeah,
that's
cool.
neat. That's really neat.
I washed my hands really fast, and it happened. It was the first time and the only time that it happened before. So I learned really quickly not to use water with my malachite.
That's really cool. Yeah, you can clear with also sound. So like you said, sometimes it's not appropriate to use smoke. You just can't. So I'll show you. I'll use different singing bells, but the little ones work really good just for clearing. So you just And so you can just clear with sound. You can clear the space. You can clear your stones. Just holding it over that resets the frequency. So there's another way you can clear. But what you're doing is, like you said, it's all about your intention. So your intention is to reset it, clear it. And so as we complete our session, I'm going to grab our camera here, and I'm just going to show you. This is a setup that we have from an altar space that I had from a recent ceremony. And so I have a lot of different, like this oracle cards and things like that, and different sacred objects, lots of different stones, plants, Pele, and some special art and things like that. So anything that's sacred to you, of course, to me, everything is sacred. So I have lots of sacred things. So, you know, sometimes they all come out, and sometimes they get put away in baskets with scarves and things over them until it's an appropriate time. So, you know, right now I'm going to leave it all out until our retreat, and everybody else will be able to add to it, or we may just reset it completely. So we'll use different things. Like this one has an Om. So I used that one this time. Sometimes you can just use a scarf, or you can set it in nature. And it's, you know, it's all about your intention. So just creating more time for sacred space for ourselves is really what this, you know, this session is about. And I just want to thank you so much for taking your time to join us today, and just to take a second to say goodbye.
Bye, Taylor.
Hi, Lisa, this was awesome. Thank you.
See you, Mia.
Bye.
It's
All
nice
right.
meeting you all.
Good night, y'all.
You as well, Mia.
Good night. Taylor,
Good night.
wonderful to meet you.